Hi, this is Kendra back with another video with Trust TV, and I am segueing off a video that I posted. And it's just going to be about why we as a people believe the transatlantic slave narrative, the transatlantic slave story, and why some of us buy into believing that white people know more than we do, and that ideology, that Stockholm syndrome, right? Um, a lot of when I look at our people and I realize that a lot of the people who believe what white people say they kind of have the same mind frame as white folk. They have bought into the idea that our brown skin is the lesser and that the paler skin is the superior. And they've bought into this ideology of, I call foreign supremacy, but they say white supremacy, right? And they bought into this idea. And so I'll say it like this. A lot of people who believe what white people say are, in many cases, are people who have bought into this ideology. What is Candace Owens? You think your people to be nothing. You know, as my sister was saying one time, she said, if it wasn't for the demon within, the demon without can do no harm. So, it's not what they call you. It's, truly what you believe about you already, if that makes sense. And so a lot of times they'll believe that white people have more knowledge or are smarter, or they think that white people know stuff because who they are and who they've presented themselves to be in the stereotype of what white people have created us to be in America, if that makes sense. So there was no such thing as a nigger, right? There's no such thing as us being bums, as are lazy. As Trump said, America was founded on the backs of so-called black people, right? So how can a lazy people build a nation? How? We are inventors. We are inventors. How can a lazy people invent? We had our own schools prior to them. Look at these inventions. Look at these inventions. I mean, in the list, this is only half. This is not even half of the list. This is not even half of the list. How can a people so lazy? We used to be business-minded. How can a people that was business-minded, inventors, be a lazy people? No, that was a social construct that was placed on your mind, right? To condition you to be codependent on your government. So when they did the mass incarcerations, putting black men in a timeout and a complacent state of reliance on the government, and leaving the women at home without, leaving them in a perpetual cycle, in a sit still and reliance on the government. That mind frame of relying on somebody to provide room, board, and shelter for you or your family is what created the laziness that we see in our society. And this is not with all of us, because a great deal, many of us, especially today, work very hard. But if you find yourself as a so-called black person lazy, it has absolutely nothing to do with you being a so-called black person. It has everything to do with your upbringing and not being reared correctly into understanding who you are as a person and what you achieved and what your people achieved. Losing that culture made you lose an identity of a person who pulled himself up from his own bootstraps, who was inherently intelligent and inherently intuitive and a hard-working person. You lost that identity when you took on the identity of black and became mentally enslaved by the words that were placed, by the word curses placed on you from foreign, or what you guys like to say, white supremacists. They only called you lazy that you decided that, no, I work for myself and I will not work for you. We would not work for them or work with them for that matter, hence why they set on fire our communities. When they could not get your free labor, they called you lazy. When they could not get you to share, if you will, your housing, your community, your lands, they called you a nigger, which is niggardly. You were stingy, wouldn't share with them because you understood that they were here to conquer and not contribute, right? So you didn't want anything to do with them. You were then deemed a nigger, right? Because once I saw that word, I looked up niggardly. And that is exactly what nigga, they was like, because they got you from the Niger. No, please take several seats. Calling you no dick. Anyway. So I want us to understand that a lot of times when you you're willing to accept what white people say at face value is because what you already think about yourself. You think that you're not anything great. You think that you're good for nothing. You bought into so-called white supremacy. So as a result, you believe them. You trust their words because you're judging it based on how you see yourself. Not realizing that was not us as a people. You don't go from Million Man marching to just being lazy. That's just not, something's wrong. You don't go from fighting for your rights and creating protective forces in your community to prevent police brutality to being lazy. So something is not actively right. That is your mind frame. So that was my little, because I remember I got into an argument with a girl trying to teach her, and she was a brown-skinned woman like myself, and I was trying to tell her about our history and how it was fabricated and a lie, and she was willing to fight me over it. She did not like the idea that she was taught something new, and it's because she had all her past failures had identified her with that black identity. The reason why she wasn't making it, she could use that as a crutch to say, well, I didn't make it, not because I didn't try, but because white people holding me back. So many people hold on to that black identity to justify their failures. I'm not saying that there aren't things stacked up against us because I would be lying. But what I'm saying is, don't let that be the crutch that you use, that you are indoctrinated with to prevent you from moving forward in your life. The sky really is the limit. You limit yourself. You do not have to stay confined into some identity that is fake. Your people, our people, were never, ever lazy. They were never, ever people who just relied on government assistance. They were never a people who were dysfunction in family. Every family on the face of this earth has issues, no matter what race you come from. There are issues. But we were always a family, no matter what. We always were family. We had marriages. We had businesses. We loved our children. Our men loved our women. Our women loved our men. Our children loved their parents. Our children were more obedient. And it was not until we tapped into this paradigm shift of identity, or that we now take on the way of the Slavic man. The do nothing and get something. The constant criticism without knowing who a person actually is. Just our whole ideology and our whole mind frame. Not honoring, You know, this is biblically textbook. I was going to do another video talking about how to the T from a lot of scriptures in the Bible that are not Deuteronomy. If you want to know who a people is, you and see us, our so-called black people, right off the back and who we are, you have to open the book of Isaiah. Right? Isaiah 3 and 1 and 5, and Isaiah 3 and 12, 14 through 12 through 26. There's when they talk about us being stiff-necked in the Bible, this book in many parts shows us a people. And without a shadow of a doubt, when you read the word of God, you see that people is us. Can't miss it. They got us packed down to a T. I'm talking everything. From our Spanish, some of us are American Indians, but some of our Spanish ancestors, yes, Spanish and Portuguese ancestors. Yes, Scottish and Irish ancestors, yep, that were not Slavics. There's no such thing as white and black. Stop it. But anyway, I digress. All right, I didn't want this to be long. This is Kendra with True Us TV. Stay up, stay blessed. Make sure you like, and thank you for all those who like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you continue to like, share, and subscribe. Hit that the thumbs up. Share this video. I mean, why not? You ain't doing nothing else. You're watching me, you know? So go ahead, like, share, subscribe, and hit that video and share that and send that over to the next person so they get a little watch and a little view. Anyway, stay up, stay blessed. Peace out. Bye.